joined by engineer Debo. Onifade is the founder of HRPAYHUB and CEO of Delonapps. He's an author, technologist, and public policy commentator with deep insight into how technology and innovation can drive economic transformation and job creation in Nigeria. We'll be exploring how businesses, government, and the tech ecosystem can collaborate to tackle unemployment and prepare the workforce for the future. Great to have you on the show, sir. Good morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
Fantastic. So I was thinking to myself yesterday, I was like, okay, fine, this unemployment issue seems to be something African countries, have to deal with. Same thing in South Africa, Egypt, Nigeria, top economies in Africa. It hit me, does being an import-dependent country translate to unemployment? Is that our biggest issue here?
No, I think the biggest issue is we are not focusing on the right strategy. A country like Nigeria would grow by developing its informal sector. Even the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, I don't trust their numbers all the time, acknowledges that growth has come more from informal sector in the in this year. You look at how China grew. The informal sector, we can say low skill, medium level skill, as well as high skill. You have to grow jobs within the low skill sector. The government continues to talk about, we need to do AI, we need to do technology. I'm an engineer, and I like to hear that. But that's not how we're going to grow jobs in Nigeria. We need to, how many times have you heard governors say, hey, we need to train artisans, we need to train those, let me talk about artisans. Two things I always talk about. One, they need to get better at their jobs. Why should we be? I'm sure you're aware that Togolese tilers are coming to Nigeria now.
Right.
You must be aware that now people patronize Togolese mechanics, auto mechanics. We need to train the informal sector first to be better at their jobs, because as they do better at their jobs, the jobs will grow. Second is we also have to train them on how to manage their business. You see a barber today open his shop, 2 years he's closed. A guy, an auto mechanic, 3 years he's gone to start riding Okada. That sector is very critical. Now people talk about agri, but beyond agri, that sector is very important. Outside Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, I think more than 80–90% of Nigerians are low skilled or mid-level skilled people. If you focus too much on that formal sector, America is the only country that right now has by far a very small formal sector. China today, I'll tell you that the blue-collar jobs, salaries have grown by over 100% in the last 12 years in China. In the white-collar sector, salaries have grown by just 25%. So you have white-collar guys, college graduates, now looking for blue-collar jobs because of growth in the blue-collar sector. Of course, in the last 20–25 years, China grew more in the white-collar jobs, But before then, in the 70s, everything related to China growth, especially jobs, was about low skill. So that's the path we are, and we need to invest into that sector. We're not investing into that sector. Governments are not doing anything. Federal government is not doing much.
But we do see some subnationals there. I was talking about skills acquisitions projects and all of that. Teaching some of these out of so people that are maybe not in school or planning to go to school, and they set up these beautiful skills acquisition projects for them.
So
I've heard the impact.
I've heard some good things from the Minister of Education in recent times in terms of just the usual talks. But generally, how do you train people in that sector? For example, if you train a tiler to do better, if you train, now you have more companies manufacturing cars in Nigeria, and you hear people say, I don't want to buy that car because I'm going to struggle with maintenance.
So second-hand value.
A second-hand value. But then, why would people say I'm struggling with maintenance? Because we don't have enough people to even repair the cars. So generally, and I'm saying things like, even things like barber, I'm sure you probably, in your area, you can't cut everywhere. You say, maybe you have 5 people around, you say only these 2 guys can cut well. Same as auto mechanics. People are saying, oh, maybe 20% of them can do well. We need to invest a lot, because when auto mechanics do better, our cars will last longer. A lot of things will improve. People will not break down on cars will not break down.
Especially when your car has AC issues. Most of the time, it's hard to find a good AC tech.
Exactly, and that's not supposed to be complex. So, and then the business side, like I also mentioned, it's not just about the skills. You also want their business to survive, teaching them basic. I said in time past that, I would volunteer to do free training. If a government, if a subnational says, okay, I'm assembling 1,000, trade guys, and I want trainers to come and guide them on simple P&L, how to manage your business, so that the businesses survive. In America, you have third generation, fourth generation auto mechanics. You have fourth generation, blue collar guys, and I think that sector, same as agric. You people talk only about agric, or people are not familiar. And I say things like, what are you doing to develop the villages to encourage people to stay back? Now you're pumping more into agriculture, but the younger guys are leaving the villages. They're coming to the cities. How do you keep them to stay back? There's no power there, no electricity, and you have many governors just building flyovers, just spending a lot on the urban centers, very little on the rural area. People want to watch DSTV also in rural areas. People want to enjoy good healthcare. People want to enjoy good education. If you put in those facilities there, some younger people will stay back. Now, some people will still live for the city, but go to China, go to Philippines, go to America. Let me talk about Southeast Asia. The cities, the developments are not happening only in the big cities. You just hear of some unpopular cities you've never heard of, and they're manufacturing a lot because government has put in infrastructure in those areas. So it's not just pumping money into, we're giving them fertilizers, but how do we encourage young people to stay there so they can do farming? And if you don't grow that sector, that informal sector, that agri sector, you're focusing too much on tech. I think we're not America. We can only compare ourselves with Korea maybe 40 years ago, compare ourselves with China maybe 40, 50 years ago, compare ourselves with India. They have gone past us. But we can only compare ourselves with those countries, decades ago. But to think that we're going to be America, we want to,
compete in the tech space, at some point. But we'll start somewhere.
Yeah, again, I'm in that space.
Right.
So I'm just being objective. I'm in that space, but I don't like fool myself. We need to develop that space.
Right.
I'm there.
Let's be realistic, but let's start something.
Yeah,
at some point.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was great having this conversation. We've run out of time. Debo Onifade is the founder of HRPAYHUB. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed my time with you.
Thank you.
Cheers.